Engineers inspector training video. Here we are in New York, and we're looking at a fire escape here that we're been asked to consult on, and two things in order for a fire escape to pass inspection. It can either be load tested, and that's one form of guarantee that none of the tenants or none of the firemen are ever going to get hurt on this fire escape, or in lieu of a load test, some sort of certification and guarantee that the 50 to 75-year-old bolts on this fire escape are ready for a load test. And the way we do that is we look for evidence of maintenance on the critical superstructure, such as the supports and the staircases. So if we were asked if this fire escape is ready for a load test today, we would look for evidence of maintenance. Any evidence of maintenance that would be a norm in a 50 to 75-year-plus old fire escape. Minimally in 75 years, you'd see changes in all the staircases and bolting with new hex head bolts. And looking up the entire fire escape system, showing no evidence of maintenance. All original hardware is still here, which is 50 to 75-year-old bolts. So this fire escape is not ready for a load test. Aside from that, all the treads going up, when you look up, have tears of rust coming through, indicating that these bolts are been compromised due to the lack of painting. So water has gotten in between the stringer and the support and the tread, and that means that these bolts are compromised. So 100% of all these bolts need to be changed out in order to guarantee a load test, or to guarantee that the fire escape is ready for a load test. All the major critical supports and platforms should have been reinforced by now. So there's connections in the back up against the building, there's connections at the nose and the point, and we're looking for any evidence that, again, in 50 to 75 years, there should be some evidence of maintenance. And neither one of these and the ones above show any new bolts. As a matter of fact, when you look here, you see some huge rust happening in all the floors going up, but we have photographs of that one there. So with no platforms having any evidence of maintenance, the fire escape platforms are not ready for load testing and have not been refurbished. So you need to refurbish 100% of all the platforms on this entire fire escape system. That being a majority of the activity here, you have 75% refurbishment required in order for this fire escape to be ready for a load test. In lieu of a load test, you can refurbish a fire escape and forego the expensive cost of load testing by refurbishing a fire escape. The only third alternative, but it comes with a lot of disclaimers, is the repair test. The repairs are nothing more than repairing some treads here, some bolts here and there, but again, it comes with disclaimers that put all the liability back to the owner. Repairs on a fire escape do not come with a guarantee, are not considered a load test, are not considered a guaranteed certification, and are used mainly just to secure the fire escape temporarily. Maybe we'll secure there and secure there, but then there's no certification of any kind, and the warranty, the liability is all back to the owner, because we only guarantee what we fix. So if somebody was to get hurt on the rest of the fire escape during the following years, the owner will be held liable, because these are 50 to 75-year-old bolts that have not been maintained in the life of the fire escape. Some other issues: we've got some welded connections here and there. Those we cannot verify without doing an expensive x-ray, but as soon as you pop a bolt on it, then that's going to be guaranteeing that the connection. So some of these platform brackets can be done. We got rivets that are 50 to 75 years old. Those rivets must be reinforced, or if it's faster and cheaper to pop those out and put in a new bolt, then do so. That will guarantee the platform structure. The ladder is a guillotine ladder. This is the door coming out. A lot of these are supposed to have weights on them, but again, there's so many fire escape ladders that are just guillotine ladders that it's sort of a non-conforming ladder system, but we have to disclaim this, that this ladder should be one that has weights on it so that it drops 2 to 3 feet per second during an emergency. If somebody was to get hit in the head while it falls 2 to 3 feet per second, they're not going to get hurt. But if it comes down like a guillotine, when you just release it and let it go, it's going to come down, and it may hurt or kill somebody when it comes down in the present form. It does need a full paint job. This fire escape has got rust throughout the fire escape, so it's due for a paint job. The only issue right now, as of 2010, the EPA has mandated that all fire escapes older than 1978, and this one is, must be painted by a licensed EPA renovator. So that means whether you're using a painting contractor, a general contractor, or an ironwork contractor, they have to have the additional license called the renovator's license. And that renovator's license just basically makes sure that they know how to handle all these chips that are going to come off of this fire escape that have lead. No welding on this fire escape. Any repairs must be done with a permit, but no welding on the fire escape, and 99% of this fire escape is bolted connection anyway, so there should be no welding as a form of repair because it's not verifiable. So, with all that being said, the fire escape on this platform here repeats itself, these 5 stories or so, and the connections into the wall is the last thing we need to talk about. So the tiebacks into the wall need to be verified or duplicated, whatever's cheaper to the client, because some of these are not verifiable as in the present moment. So we need to get behind the wall, open it up, and confirm that the plates on the back of these supports are intact. If it's cheaper for us to just make a new connection, if this is a masonry wall that we're going to be tying in at these points, it's faster and cheaper to use a Hilti epoxy bolt 8 to 12 inches deep next to the existing connections and just duplicate the connection. It's much faster, much cheaper for the client. So if you have any questions, this is Fire Escape Engineers, Inspector Meneses, 800-649-3333. This fire escape is going to need at least 5 visits by whatever engineering firm is hired to basically guarantee and warranty the repairs. It's too much work here that 3 visits are not enough. And again, under the permit process, there'll be an initial visit, a visit to see how the work is progressing, a mid-visit, a 3/4 visit, and then a final visit prior to bringing in the city for a final sign-off on the permits. Any questions? Fire Escape Engineer, Inspector Meneses, 800-649-3333.